taking a look at the two-stroke diesel today. So while you're strapping that up, Ben, why don't you give us a rundown? 1949 F7.
So, I like these trucks. I got a 51 half-ton that I four-wheel drive converted. And that was like the truck that my dad drove to high school, and my grandfather kept it for 30 years after that, and then I drove it to high school. And I go four-wheeling a lot with that and the Blazer in the garage that we were just working on. And I like having something to tow those to the trail in case I make bad decisions, which is basically a guarantee. So I wanted a ramp truck to do it in style instead of using the car trailer. So I found this without the flatbed, just a bare frame, on Marketplace for like $2,000 with the original big block flathead. The F1 through the F6 all got regular flatheads like you see in old school hot rods and stuff. This one had a 337 big block flathead. Careful, bud, you're bending her frame. Oh, she's kind. It's a garbage truck. That's normal. Bent frames. So, picked this thing up and thought I was just gonna rip it around like with the stock big block flathead. It was field revival, like, and that engine probably would have been okay. It had a stuck valve. I was gonna have to go through it and unstick the valves and stuff. It's really hard to find parts for those engines because I only made them for like 3 years because they were terrible. But then I saw on Marketplace a 453T Detroit 2-stroke diesel. I was like, puzzle pieces fit together. They're the same color, so I had to buy it. I like green. The other truck's green too. So got that, shoehorned it in. 5-speed Clark. Did a Dana 60 in the front, Dana 70 in the rear. Disc brakes, 22 5s. It's got the transfer case out of a M37 Dodge military truck. Made all my own custom drive shafts and stuff. It's the longest eBay build your own drive shaft you can get. It's meant to be cut down to length. I didn't cut it. I put the transfer case wherever it lined up with the longest.
Holy crap!
And then I had to figure out how to buy and assemble a whole two-piece carrier bearing in the back. Yep. And figure out where all the slip joints needed to be, and it hasn't exploded yet. So
nice.
Big win. And now I got a sweet little Ripper. It's kind of primitive. It's like bare bones to go down the road semi-safely, but gets the job done. And it makes a sound unlike anything you've ever heard before if you were born after 1990.
That's a fact. All right, well, let's get to driving it. She needs ether to start her up.
If it was this temperature out and it didn't leak down the fuel prime, then you wouldn't need it. But it bleeds down the fuel pressure, and it has to crank like 100 times to get fuel back up to the injectors. So Jake's gonna run the Cosby in a can. Spray it until I yell at you.
Okay. She is shoehorned, buddy.
It barely fits. Wow. It does fit. Got a new radiator, remote oil filter. Everything else is stock. I'm waiting on, there's a YouTuber called Old Two-Stroker, and he's actually developing his own Jake brakes for this, made brand new. It's really, really hard to find them. So next year or so, when those are available, I'm gonna buy those. It'll have 2-stage Jakes, and I'm gonna do the injectors in this that are made for 92 cubic inch per cylinder Detroit instead of this is a 53 cubic inch per cylinder. So it'll blow lots of nice black smoke, and I might do a bigger turbo as well, maybe an intercooler if I'm feeling fancy.
That's pretty cool.
I'll give you a little rev.
Yeah. Nothing like that sound.
So, from the factory, this floor is flat all the way across.
Yep.
I had to make this whole tunnel, which, you know, whatever, the YouTube, I'm gonna get lots of comments that say it's ugly. You know what? I'm not a tin fabricator, dude. I don't like doing it. I did pretty good for my own standards, and it fits everything. That's what matters. And then you got to be a little flexible to drive this thing. because the gas pedal's all the way over here.
Yeah,
because
that is interesting.
the transmission consumed the original gas pedal
Gotcha.
location, and this feels even worse, and this feels even worse.
Yep.
So now it's here, and it's kind of near the brake, and you only hit the gas when you're going for the brake sometimes, so it works out.
I always forget how tight these damn cabs are.
Yeah, it's tight before you take the whole floor out.
Now, if you stall it or something, obviously it doesn't lose prime that fast.
No, it'll start right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you just touch the key.
Yep.
Oh, the button.
You, where's my seatbelt?
Ah, that's cute. Turn on the Gucci lights. We got fancy pants going down the road lights.
Yep, running
We
laps.
got the OG amber.
Tag
turn
on
signals
straight, brother.
running. And we have the barely visible turn signals when you're on running mode.
I mean, it's not too awful bad.
And then green bean
Ooh.
mode
Ah.
for when the aliens are coming.
Sounds like you're going 1,000 RPM.
That's not even all the way up to the governor.
No, I believe you.
This driveline originally would have had a 2-speed rear axle.
Yeah.
So it's got a single speed now, so the gaps between the gears are way too big. I think next winter, I got a buddy who I sold the original engine out of this to, and he's got a couple auxiliary transmissions. So I think I'm gonna twin stick it next winter, so it'll have a 3 or a 4-speed aux box to split the gears. Because right now, if you get on a hill with a load, you get stuck at the top of one gear. By the time you get into the next gear, you're at like 20 horsepower levels of RPM.
Yeah. This thing is shockingly loud. Yeah. That was an aggressive move in front of a tough truck.
Forgot how slow it is.
I know, dude.
And long.
You get spoiled by a modern vehicle, and you hop in something like this, and you're like, uh-oh.
You don't really need the grinding gear to get off from a light,
Yep.
but it sure does turn some heads when it really startles some people when you
Yeah.
go through like 3 gears by the time you hit 10 miles an hour.
How are the brakes on it?
They're okay. They're safe.
Yeah.
They're set up right and they're all new. The geometry of the pedal is a little weird, so it uses a lot of pedal travel. It feels like there's air in them, but it is
Gotcha.
not.
Gotcha.
And they are just 1-ton truck brakes going through 22.5 tires.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not gonna stop like a Corvette, but they'll do the job. You can
Yep.
panic stop. You can't really
Yep.
lock them up, but it really needs Jakes for going down consistent hills with a load.
Yep. How's it just engine braking of the engine itself?
Almost non-existent.
Yeah, that's what I figured. The diesels aren't too good about that.
No.
Listen to that scream though, man.
I got that little fisheye mirror up there in the corner. That's
Yep.
that's watching the sport now. Here's the fuel. How dare you? The brakes on this thing, they're vacuum assist, but obviously there's no vacuum on a supercharged diesel.
Right.
So I have a electric vacuum pump that provides the vacuum.
Yep.
So whenever you turn the master on, you hear it buzzing, and then it turns off on the cutoff switch. And then down here on my left side, there's a boost gauge, 2 identical gauges, but they go from 30 psi of vacuum to 30 psi of boost.
Yep.
So one of them is set up for the turbo boost, and one of them is set up for the brake vacuum.
What's your top reasonable speed, like cruising speed?
He'll do 70.
Really?
It starts to have some drive shaft vibration because they're homemade
Yeah.
at like 65, 70.
Okay.
Makes some disconcerting noises.
That's plenty fast enough though,
Yeah.
for what this is.
It'll do 75 too. You're just getting into
Yeah.
the governor cutoff.
That's cool.
It'll do 65 125 up a grade with a load too. It's got enough power. It's just that the power is all in this like 500 RPM band right at the top.
What do you think it makes for power?
It's rated at 175, I think.
Okay.
That's not bad.
What's that for torque?
Like 300, 350.
Okay.
But unlike a normal diesel, that's like at governor. This thing's governed at I think 3,000 RPM, and the max power and torque is at like 28.
Gotcha.
It's an old school turbo too, where it's not very efficient, and it really only creates boost right at the very top.
Right.
So if you go get a better turbo and you modify the governor to actually send fuel at the right time, you can widen that power band out a lot. You know, this is set up to government regulations right now where they try to keep you from blowing smoke. So I have a boost reference line that I have to disconnect so it always throws full fuel. A couple little things like that.
Now, I forget, are these the ones that are turbo and supercharged?
Yeah, there's a blower on the side of the motor, which doesn't really make boost. It just creates a little air movement because these engines without a blower just will not run. They don't move enough air out of the combustion chamber to...
The old Eurasian automotive experts. This is not a Eurasian vehicle, is it? It's American old school iron.
We should take it there, see if they'll work on it. We'll take it to a Ford dealership too.
Yeah, really.
Here's something interesting. So this is fourth gear.
Yep.
For whatever reason, maybe because you're not supposed to split the rear end in the original truck, the fourth and fifth gear are almost the same ratio. Listen to this.
Oh yeah.
See, she's got the ability to do some low RPM. This is foot to the floor.
No problem, baby. She's a ripper.
Oh yeah.
How many RPMs is this, you think?
24.
It just sounds like it's 7,000.
Yeah.
Because it's a two-stroke, obviously. And it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, but you're going
Oh yeah, when you got a load on this thing, you're doing 5 under the speed limit, and it feels like you're speeding.
Trucks are, they've come a long way.
We're gonna see if Jake can drive this in a minute, and the throttle's a little sticky at the very top. Sometimes you have to just kick it a little bit. A little slower, make sure the clutch is all the way in. It's pretty gentle, you don't have to push it very hard, you just gotta wait for things to slow down. And that's your cruising RPM right there.
Oh, okay. I'm like, don't want to over-rev it, but yeah.
There's no way you'll be able to catch the next gear.
Okay. Except the fact that she's screaming and all that. Now, can I catch a gear?
You can try.
Let's go.
You got nothing.
You really gotta let that thing just eat. There we go. Yep. Now she's back up on the chip. That's just so weird because like in my head I'm like, I want it down.
It wants it. That's why it needs the second transmission.
Yeah. The handling's actually better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's not bad. It actually drives a lot better with a truck on the back too. I did the Vice Grip Garage Patina Saver
clear coat on this. It came out looking pretty nice because this is like farmer roll-on paint job that's on here, and it was just coming off in sheets. And it hurts to drive for a long time because the way your gas pedal leg is. Yep. I don't know if you can tell. I actually thought about using this push-pull cable right here. Yep. It's the original choke. I thought about using that for a hand throttle for if you're going down the highway for a long time.
Gotta remember, folks. I mean, I'm all for, you know, making things as clean as reasonably possible. But this old school iron blowing black smoke built our country. Don't forget it. Because if you like all the things you have today, this is how I got there at one point in time. So, it is what it is.
You can pull out that guy.
Fuel shut off?
Yeah. All the way.
Oh.
All the way.
Hold real hard on it? There you go.
There you go, and you got to put that back in.
Dude, what is going on with that?
It's a 70-year-old push-pull cable.
What gear are you leaving in?
Neutral.
Neutral?
And then that master kill switch up there up top. Bing, bang, boom.
Leave it?
Yeah, just leave it.
Yeah.
I turn the fans off just so I don't kill the battery when I start it up. That's how we do it.
As always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next one. You messed up my outro. Goodbye.